started. Welcome. If you have comments or questions, please just speak up. We're a small enough group. I think they're not going to have any problems. I'm Mary Eve Brown. I'm a registered licensed nutritionist and dietitian. I've been a dietitian for 35 years, and I've been in oncology for 20 years. So we're going to talk about survivor nutrition for prostate cancer, and all of us are survivors, so we should be on the right topic. I want to put this thought in your head about food. My husband and I were in New York City, and we went to a hip, cool place, and we were nowhere near hip or cool. And people were eating, and I'm looking at what people are eating, and I know what I wanted to order, but I didn't know how to do it. So the waitress came over, she gave us the menu, and I'm looking at it, and I'm still not able to figure it out. So she came over, she's like, "You ready to order?" And I said, "Well, I really don't know how to order this." And she said, "Ma'am, it's just food." And I thought, that's really an interesting concept to me, is that it's just food? Is it really just food? Is that how people think about how they nourish themselves? So I kind of want to keep that in your thought as we're kind of going through this. So everything I'm going to say to you is rooted in science. It's evidence-based. It's not anecdotal. It's not hocus pocus, which is a word I love to say, is hocus pocus. So from the National Comprehensive Cancer Network, for the cancer survivor, the best formula for avoiding another cancer episode is proper nutrition combined with weight control and exercise. And then from the NCI, the National Cancer Institute, a healthy diet and lifestyle changes can improve the quality of life for cancer survivors. I'm going to jump a topic for just a second and talk about obesity. So obesity is now linked with 13 cancers, one of them being prostate. So it's linked with postmenopausal breast, endometrial, colorectal, pancreas, esophagus, kidney, liver, gallbladder, cervix, ovary, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and multiple myeloma. Approximately 117,000 cancer cases in the United States can be linked with excess body fat. And obesity is linked with 7% of cancer deaths. And what I think is really significant is in the next 5 to 10 years, obesity is going to be the #1 preventable cause of cancer, not smoking. So it's the visceral body fat, which is that belly fat that we think is the culprit. So it's not inert, it just doesn't lay there. It has inflammatory cytokines, it produces hormones like insulin and leptin, and elevated levels of these are what we think is related to the cancer risk. And if you looked at some of those cancers, they were hormonal cancers, right? So gynecological, breast, and prostate. Most of the evidence around obesity is in survivors of breast, prostate, and colorectal. And research indicates that obesity may worsen several aspects of survivorship: the quality of life, cancer reoccurrence, progression, and prognosis. So given all of this, and also the obesity-related comorbidities, which is diabetes and high blood pressure, so among cancer survivors, this increased risk of death, it's recommended that weight loss in overweight or obese survivors would be very beneficial. How do we quantify this obesity? So it's the BMI, body mass index. It's not perfect, but it's really the only thing that we can use at this point. So there's some calculations, but it's really a lot easier. You can go on the internet and find a chart. There's also calculations. You put in your height, you put in your weight, it tells you what your BMI is. So you can go down on my height and go across, and the significant number is 24.9. That's the BMI that you want to be. Okay, so what about the food? So what I'm talking about is a prevention diet. Many, many years ago when I first started practicing, I was talking to my father, and he was like, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "Well, I talk about diet." And he was like, "Oh, like weight loss diet?" When people hear the word diet, I think their brain automatically goes to weight loss. But really, when I use the word diet, it's what we eat. So it's a prevention diet. And I'm not the only one who recommends this. So it's recommended by my academy, the Nutrition and Dietetics, American Institute of Cancer Research, National Comprehensive Cancer Network, American Cancer Society, and it's also supported by our latest dietary guidelines for Americans. So what does it look like? So one, it's a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables. 2.5 cups is your mark. And that's raw, and partially cooked. 2 cups of fruit, unprocessed whole grains, healthy fats, plant-based proteins. Yay!
You didn't hear him, he went,
He said yes, he gave the thumbs up, right? Okay, good. If you are choosing animal, choosing fish, white meat, poultry, limiting red meat, and then low fat or non-fat dairy. So I'm going to go through kind of each one of these. And again, if you guys have questions, we're a small enough group, say something. I get asked all the time, Mary, what's the thing I should eat every single day? I'm like, it's not one thing, it's all things. So when you're looking at vegetables and fruits, it's really the rainbow. You want all the different colors. Each one of those colors gives you a different cancer fighter. It gives you different phytonutrients, and phytonutrients are the plant compounds that have antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, health-promoting properties. So you guys have heard of lycopene, right? Prostated lycopene, which is red. And also, if you cook red things with a little bit of oil, healthy fat, it actually helps the body to absorb it a little bit more than if it's raw. So things that are purple, things that are orange, things that are dark green, things that are white. And think about herbs. I don't think we think about herbs as a vegetable, but it's a plant. And it has huge phytochemicals too. And they're pretty easy to grow and to use. I throw them in salads. My herb garden, at the end of the year, I just take it all, throw it in bags, and freeze it. I used to take all the little leaves off. Then I found out if I just threw the whole thing in there, they'd fall off by themselves. So it's a lot easier to use. So things that are red: tomatoes, watermelon, red peppers, raspberries, pomegranate, red onions. Things that are orange and yellow: carrots and pumpkin, and squash and sweet potatoes and citrus and mango. I made a pumpkin soup this fall. And it's so funny, so my husband sits down to eat this pumpkin soup, and he's eating, he's like, it's not sweet. He was thinking it was going to be like pumpkin pie, but it's a squash. I'm like, no, honey, it's squash. Red, purple figs, purple cabbage, blueberries, blackberries, yellow green asparagus, collard green spinach, winter squash. And the other thing about when we're eating these things, you want to eat in season. If you're eating something out of season, you're buying something that's been grown far away, and the minute it was harvested and it came all the way to wherever it was coming from, it's losing nutrition along the way. So a couple of things about this is, one, farmers markets are awesome in season. CSAs, you guys know what CSAs are? So that's a cooperative. It's a cooperative association with a local farmer or farmers. You can Google it in your area. And what I love about a CSA is you're supporting your local farmers, but you're also maybe getting produce you don't see. So I'll open a box and I'll be like, what the heck is that? And then I got to figure it out. So the one I love is Romanesca. So have you seen a Romanesca? So Romanesca is kind of in the cauliflower family, but it looks like it grew up in Whoville. It has all these really sharp spikes. I saw one at my grocery store, and of course I bought it. And so I'm checking it out, and the little checker goes, what is that? And I go, oh, it's a Romanesca. And he goes, oh, I thought it was a centerpiece. And I went, so this was like around Thanksgiving, almost Christmas. And I'm like, a centerpiece? Like, yeah, well, my mom put it at the center table with Christmas balls around it. And I'm like, no, it's a vegetable, you eat it. And he's like, oh, okay. So some people ask about, fresh versus frozen. So, if you want to do things that are frozen, that actually can sometimes have more health values than buying something that's fresh that's out of season. So during the middle of winter, buying frozen organic berries is a really good deal. They can go into smoothies, they can go into oatmeal. So what about organic? Do you think it's healthier than commercially farmed?
It's more expensive.
It's more expensive. Okay, good point. Okay. So this is the definition of organic. So organic farming is agriculture conducted according to certain standards, especially the use of certain methods of fertilization and pest control. And organic foods are foods that are produced from organic farming methods and are certified organic. So organic has to have this symbol on it. But in science, if you look in science, there really is no data to support that organic farmed produce and commercially farmed produce are any more nutritious. So my organic apple and my commercially farmed apple, the nutrition is the same. But there may be other reasons why you're doing it. You're trying to limit the amount of pesticides or hormones. So the EWG, which is the Environmental Work Group, has a great website. It has lots of really good information on it. And one of the things it has is this. dirty dozen and the clean 15. So the dirty dozen are things that have more pesticides in them and are a better food dollar than your clean 15. Your clean 15, you really don't need to buy organic. There's no reason. You're not going to, the skins of them you're not going to eat, and they're so thick there's less penetration into what you're eating. So you can download this. It comes in, I blew it up. It's a little card that you can put in your wallet and carry it to the grocery store. The only other one, and I want to go backwards, is animal products, particularly red meat. If they are farmed grass-fed, they do have a different makeup than commercially farmed red meat. They have more omega-3s in them. And omega-3s are very anti-inflammatory, and in the United States, most people don't get much omega-3s. So if you are eating red meat, and you can buy it grass-fed, it might be a better profile for you. Okay, moving on to grains. So we all know unprocessed grains are healthier for us. But I think the message was it's fibrous. You know, these are things that have the grain attached, they have the endosperm attached, so they have more fiber in them, and that's a healthier digestion. But I think what we're missing is all of these other things are in whole grains. So they also have phytonutrients in them. They have flavonoids, they have lignans, they have phytoesterols, they have minerals, they have iron and magnesium and selenium and vitamins. The B vitamins are in them. What are whole grains? So brown rice, corn, oatmeal, quinoa, whole rye, whole wheat, wild rice. And so sometimes people are like, oh, I buy brown bread. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't tell me anything. The main way you want to see if it's a whole grain bread is the ingredients, right? So the ingredients, the first ingredient should be 100% whole wheat flour. The color doesn't mean as much. 100%, whatever that flour, that grain should be. Okay, so healthy fats. So our diets should be moderate in fat, not low fat, particularly low in saturated fat. There is a link between prostate cancer and saturated fat, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But we do want these healthy fats. And what are they? They're also nuts, and walnuts and pine nuts are significant to prostate. What's something that we eat that has pine nuts in it? Pesto. So pesto is garlic and basil and pine nuts. Has protein, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and again, those omega-3s. Seeds, in particular prostate, flax, pumpkin, and sesame. Also sunflower. Also protein, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and omega-3s. So vegetable oils, canola, olive, and flax, and walnut are significant to prostate. And then avocado. And so there has been some studies that link saturated fat and a high-fat diet to prostate cancer. So saturated fat is in animal products. It's in butter. It's in the skin of chicken. It's in red meat. It's in pork. And when you eat a plant-based diet, sometimes people think that I can't eat those things. We're going to talk about it in a second. But it's really when you eat a plant-based diet, you're eating more plant food, less animal food. Some people choose to do all plant food. I'm thinking this gentleman over here, but I'm not sure. That's a choice. So what is this fat thing? So when you look at science, again, it can sometimes be a little bit, I don't really know, it's wishy-washy. But the proposed underlying mechanism of a high-fat diet inducing prostate cancer is divided into maybe growth factor signaling, maybe lipid metabolism, maybe inflammation, maybe hormonal, or something else. The number of preclinical studies propose that dietary fat and or obesity enhance prostate cancer development and progression. However, the relationship is still really controversial. We don't really know the exact mechanism. All we can say is one of those things, and that we should limit saturated fat in our diet. So protein. So I was talking about plant-based proteins. What are they? What do they look like? So legumes, like beans and lentils, peas and peanuts, tree nuts, seeds, and whole grains are all your plant-based proteins. So if we're going to do animal protein, really, we should be eating more fatty fish. And the recommendation is twice per week. Salmon, sardines, tuna, and herring. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. So I'm better off doing a farm-raised salmon or a wild-caught salmon? So what do we think? Which is better? Wild-caught. Awesome. And then when you're looking at wild-caught, should I do something that's domestic or can it be international? domestic. So I'm sitting there and I'm at the fishmonger. I want to buy wild-caught domestic. Okay, so now I'm in the freezer section, right? And it says wild-caught salmon, and I pull it out. I should flip it over, because where is it wild-caught? It should say domestic. It shouldn't say Chile or Indonesia. You really want to buy wild-caught domestic. White meat poultry. So a gentleman earlier says, oh yeah, I do a lot of ground turkey. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Is it, what kind of ground turkey? He said, ground turkey. I said, okay, it should be breast. Because ground turkey is dark meat. And that's not any different than sirloin, really, when you look at it from a saturated fat standpoint. If you're going to eat red meat, it should be limited to 18 ounces per week, if you choose it. And then you really want to look at the cut. You want to choose a lean cut, round or loin. So dairy, and this is particular to prostate. So we want to do non-fat or low-fat kind of dairy. But there's evidence, some evidence, that a high consumption of dairy products increases the cancer risk for prostate. It's limited. We used to think it was strong evidence. This got actually downgraded to limited evidence. So what's recommended by the American Institute of Cancer Research is 2 to 3 servings of dairy a day. And what's a serving? So 8 ounces of milk, 6 ounces of yogurt, 2 ounces of cheese is a serving. So again, it's kind of wishy-washy. The ongoing controversy exists regarding the effect of dairy products on prostate cancer in observational studies. So they studied large groups of men. What do they eat? Who gets prostate cancer? Who doesn't? What did that guy eat? What didn't this guy eat? Was kind of how they figure it out. Which can also be wishy-washy. There's other things going on, not just, they eat 6 servings of cheese a day. So basically what it's saying is that if you're going to do it, it shouldn't be regular fat, it should probably be lower fat, and that you should probably limit the portion of it, is basically what it's saying. And sum it all up is my plate. So you take an 8-inch plate, and who has an 8-inch plate? So, I don't know if you know about the plates in the United States today. My mother gave me her china from 1953. And it was Thanksgiving, and I put it on the table, and I was looking at the table, and I said, Mom, it doesn't look right. She goes, what do you mean it doesn't look right? I was like, it doesn't look right. The table didn't look right. So I pulled out my plate, right? My plate was a charger to their plate. Our plates are getting bigger. Thus, we are getting bigger. So when you look at an 8-inch plate, you should cut that plate in half. Half of it, veg fruit, more veg than fruit. The other half, cut that in a quarter. Some type of protein, whether that be a plant protein or an animal protein, and then some type of whole grain. It's basically an easy way to follow the diet. Having some healthy fats, drinking enough fluids. So do you guys know how to figure out your hydration? 64 ounces. So take your body weight, cut it by half, that's your ounces. I'm a 200-pound man, I'm 100 ounces of fluid a day. That's your hydration. And you really want it to be, water or not a sugary beverage or milk. So supplementation. There are no questions or comments. I'm like, you guys are tired?
No, you're doing a great job.
Okay. Supplementation. Yeah, good. Yay.
What the protein
Oh, okay. So I go by kilos. Okay. So if you take your body weight divided by 2.2, that's going to give you your kilos. You take your kilos, you times that by 0.8, that's about how much protein you need daily. Okay. So supplementation is not really the best way to get our vitamins and minerals. It really should be from food. Food is what our body knows. And there's no evidence to support any kind of anti-cancer benefit from taking supplements. It really is eating real food. Except for vitamin D. Has everybody had their vitamin D level checked? So vitamin D, our bodies were made to make vitamin D from the sun. Not really a food source, but from the sun. Well, now we are not in the sun, or we're wearing sunscreen, so we're not able to do the natural process of what the body can do, which is to make vitamin D. And it's not only needed for strong bones, but it does a lot of other important things. It's important for muscles to move, for nerves to carry messages, and to fight off bacteria and viruses, part of the immune system. And we think it may have some anti-cancer activity. So a vitamin D deficiency has been linked to colorectal, breast, prostate, and pancreas. Oh, wait a minute. And it's pretty prevalent. So, like 40% of us are vitamin D deficient. African Americans can be up to 80%, and Hispanics 69%. The darker the skin, the harder it is to get the vitamin D. So you really want to get your vitamin D level checked.
Don't you need vitamin D in order to maintain your calcium?
Yes, it's strong bones. Yep, it's in a relationship. Yep. Yeah. But it does so much more than that, and we're just learning about it. You're vitamin D deficient, you're not helping your bone.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So the crazy thing about vitamin D is there's a huge range. The recommended blood level is 30 to 100. That's crazy when you think about it. But the recommendation was based on rickets, which is a bone disorder. We've been waiting for them to come out with new recommendations. So what I'm hearing is it's probably about 50 should be the vitamin D level on a blood level. But if you are deficient, it's really hard to manage it from a nutrition standpoint. Cod liver oil, egg yolks, salmon. You really need to be on a supplement. That's the only supplement as of today that I would say people probably need to be looking out to. What doesn't include? So processed meats, processed foods, sugary beverages, refined grain products, hydrogenated oils, full-fat dairy products, alcohol. It's 2 drinks a day for men and 1 drink for women. Let me say that's unfair. I'm sorry. Thank you for laughing. I say that sometimes people don't get it. So my key points are your BMI is significant, 24.9. Be physically active 115 minutes per week. Eat a plant-based diet full of vegetables, whole grains, fruits, and limit meat and alcohol. And that's really the takeaway. Here are some resources that I use. I love AICR, American Institute of Cancer Research. It's awesome. It has a very usable website. And what I love about it is they are the organization that looks to science, compiles the evidence, and then summarizes it all together. All right, if it comes from a plant, you're going to eat it, but if it comes from a plant, you're not going to eat it. Any questions?
Could you go back to the previous slide?
No, thank you. I like that. No, okay.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you guys have? Oh, yeah.
I have one question. So, I mean, just in general, a lot of the information you presented, would you say it's healthy eating in general? Or certain, I know you noted a few different times, certain things were specific to, eating healthy if you have prostate cancer. But would you say in general, most of what you presented is just for the general population?
That's awesome. So what is great about what I just did was, it's called a prevention diet, and it prevents all disease. So the majority of men will not pass for prostate cancer. They actually, the majority will die of cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer in the United States. This all works for that too. So it's the root of the prevention diet is the preventing all of disease. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a great point. I should have said that earlier. Thank you. I'll put that next time. Anything else? Anything you've read or you've tried, you thought, oh, should I be doing that or shouldn't I be doing that?
Just want to check to make sure I'm on the right track. So I'm on Zytiga, and I run, do CrossFit, things like that, so that I'm, doing exercise. And over the past 2 years, I felt like I've been losing muscle mass. I mean, I run slower, I lift less, even though I seem to work just as hard. So then my wife here tries to get me, fortunately for her, I'm not living on Twinkies. She tries to get me, yeah, she tries to get me eating right. But I take Anjuri, which is so you're familiar with that, a protein supplement. In addition to my regular food, is that the right track?
So remember we were talking about how much protein needs. So sometimes with treatment, our bodies are using up more of our muscle mass than normal. So for the average person, it's kilos, 0.8 grams per kilo. Kilos is your pounds divided by 2.2. You may need more. You may need more. You could do the math, but you may need 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilo of protein. So you might want to do a little bit of calculation and see if you're on the mark for where you need to be. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. Anything else? You guys are super easy. You're just super tired, as I said. I'm surprised the sugar thing never came up. I won't bring it up either then.
It's an ugly demon. I've let that ugly demon get back in my life, and I've now been without it for a month. So I'm one of those things that sugar is truly like somebody that is an alcoholic. If I let it back in my system, it just takes one bite, one thing, and I am off the edge. So I have tried to be just 100% of known sugars. I don't focus so much on stuff that's in the foods per se. It's this cookies, cake, ice cream, things like that. So I've eliminated those, and the cravings are now gone. So it's like I want to make sure that doesn't creep back in again.
Yeah.
But that's a problem that I have, and I've seen that my joints feel better without it having in my diet.
Yeah. Nothing else? So we have a chef coming in who's going to do a cooking demonstration for us that kind of supports all the things that we just talked about.
And if you look on your tables, you should have a copy of the recipe that the chef's going to cook for us, and you will get to sample. If you don't have a handout, let me know, and I will bring you one.
I think they're on the other
Good afternoon, everyone. And we did some healthy salad, some mixed green salad with salmon. All the ingredients you have seen on the screen a while ago. And I just want to give you the little demonstration on there. So I do have some lettuce here. It's a mixed green, romaine in there, red oak, radicchio. You can use even some sprout as well, the alfalfa sprout or something. So it's a mixed green, that's your choice. So there's two ways to make this salad with all the ingredients. You can mix it up all together, or you can make it like a Cobb salad, like green salad, and then you have all the condiments inside, and just put the lemon juice, salt, pepper, no oil, and just, that's another way. So I have here the black bean, so I'm going to mix it up all that, make it like a compost salad. So if someone doesn't like the black bean, they can use the chickpeas as well. That's healthy as well too. This is scallion, spring onion in Asia they call that. So spring onion is also good. It's good in the summertime as well. Keep your body cool. In Asia they eat a lot of onions in the summertime, and it's very good for the heat to prevent from the heat. I have avocados here, the diced up. I already marinated it in a lemon juice so it doesn't get black brown. And you can use the diced one, you can use the sliced one as well. But make sure if you eat it right away, that's okay. If not, just cure it with a little bit lemon juice and keep it in there and cover it up completely. That doesn't get the air. And I do have here some corn. You can grill the corn or just like that. It's healthy anyway. Cherry tomatoes. And I have some lemon juice here. So I will not going to mix it until I'm ready with my salmon. So the pan is getting hot. I have some seasoning, salt and pepper. That's all, nothing else. You know, easy peasy. Just mix it up. And you know, one more thing we need to also remember that lemon juice is a little bit juicy, and when we put the salt in any ingredients, it's an acid, so it's gonna give you a juice. You know, when you put the lemon salt on the tomato, just sprinkle it and you just eat it. It's juicy. So it's no need any other juice. You got natural from the lettuce, from the tomatoes, from the corn as well. So oil is hot. I do have already a little bit seared off. I just want to give you some demonstration on there. So while the salmon is getting there, let me mix the salad. It's very good, very healthy salad, you know, and it's just very light. You can make the restaurant style salad right at home as well. It's just a style that you know how you present the food. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. So, you know, when you do that at home, just follow simple way and just give you a very nice presentation. There you go. So sear the salmon from all the sides. You don't need to make it like brown from all the sides, because the time you're going to make it brown is going to be overcooked. So keep it a little bit medium rare, and that way at least you get the juicy salmon. So here you have a salad. I seared off all the sides so you won't see anything rawness of any side. So once that gets done is brown, all the side is going to be cooked inside, no doubt about it. And this is not a thick salmon, you know. It's just a average kind of a salmon that size that is not take too long. So it's very easy. Just take it out a little bit. I'm going to put it in a pan. And as you see that I just use palm spray, you know, but the salmon have his own juice naturally. So here you go. I'm going to add a little bit cilantro on it, just garnish, and there you have it. Beautiful salad, very healthy. The fish, you know, healthy. The mixed green is there, tomatoes, corn. It all is it's not dry, it's juicy. You know, it's like you eat it, you want more. All right. Good. Thank you very much.
Is there a reason, just out of curiosity, is there a reason why you would, because the recipe says, you know, with skin on, is that just for cooking purposes, or is there a reason for the skin to remain on?
It's for a cooking purpose, and what Chef was saying is, I think people don't like fish on because it's overcooked. And what Chef was kind of trying to tell you is that once it's seared on the outside, it's pretty much done. When people overcook it, it's when it gets dry. People are like, I don't like it because it's dry. It's normally because it's overcooked. So the skin can help protect that. And the skin is actually healthy if you want to eat it. So some people like to eat it, some people don't like to eat it. So it's really from a cooking standpoint too. And if you didn't want to have the salmon with it, it's a complete salad because it has the beans in it too. You guys have been awesome. Thank you.